y'all, Dixie here. Today I want to tell you about some new gear that I will be testing on my thru hike of the Arizona Trail, which I'll be starting pretty soon. First, I'm going to be testing out a new shelter, the Z-Packs Duplex Zip Tent. I had to try this tent because it seems to have a lot of the things that made me interested in the Durston X-Mid tent, like zipper doors, magnetic closures, but with the same old trusty setup that I like because I've gotten so accustomed to the Z-Packs Duplex setup or triplex that I can like do it in my sleep. It's a little lighter than the Duplex L, but a little bit heavier than the standard Duplex. But I think the zipper doors are gonna be nice if I run into any high winds in the desert, which seems likely. Next up is the MT Knives Talon. I've been carrying the same MT Knives neck knife, the Genesis, for years, like since my thru hike of the PCT in 2017. So I feel a little weird trying out a different one, but Patrick came out with the Talon a while back and I've been wanting to try it, and it's a little bit smaller and more lightweight, so it's especially nice for the ladies who have more going on in the boob area. It's made from MagnaCut steel and the blade itself is a little less than 2 inches and the entire knife is a little less than 5 inches. The knife with the Kydex sheath, the cord, and the breakaway beads that it comes with weighs a total of 1.65 ounces and it costs $125, so it makes sense. It's a little bit cheaper than the Genesis, less material. Next, I am trying out a different sleeping pad. I've used the same sleeping pad. I've had replacements, but I've replaced it with the same thing consistently, except when I've tested out things here and there. But the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, and I actually picked up one of those while I was on the Appalachian Trail, somewhere New Jersey, New York area, and started using that after deciding a closed cell phone pad would not work for me. But Thermarest has discontinued them, and so all of their sleeping pads are a little bit heavier than what I want to carry, except for the Uberlite, which apparently has also been discontinued, but you can still get them. But since I had such a terrible time with those when I was doing fire closure areas on the Pacific Crest Trail back in 2019, I'm just kind of moving on from that. So anyway, with all of that said, the most recent Neo Air X Lite that I've used was the short version and weighed about 8 ounces. So I was looking for that ballpark range. And I came across the Nemo Tensor Elite. And they have a short version and a regular version. The claimed weight on the short version was 7.6 ounces. Claimed weight on the regular length was 8.5 ounces. So I decided to go with the regular. Surprisingly, I am used to the shorter sleeping pad, but because I haven't had any quality rest in the last 5+ months, I decided that if I can get some good sleep while I'm out on the trail, then I was willing to carry an extra 0.9 ounces to do that. I should also mention that this new sleeping pad, it has a thickness of 3 inches and an R value of 2.4, which is a little less than the recommended R value for 3-season weather, which is a 3. But, you know, you gotta have some trade-offs for comfort, so I'll take the risk of being a little more chilly at night for having a lighter sleeping pad to hike with on my back during the day. I have also selected a new food pot to test out. I did a whole video explaining why I'm testing out a new food pot. It makes me a little bit sad, but it's just a test for now. But the pot that I selected is by Soto Outdoors, and it's the 1100 milliliter titanium pot. This food pot is pretty comparable in volume and weight to my aluminum food pot, so it made sense. I'm also testing out a new pair of toe socks. They're called Zoskin, I believe is how it's pronounced. They were intriguing because basically they looked like a good alternative to Injinji socks, which I've used in the past. And the idea behind these toe socks is to help prevent blisters. Now, I'm not somebody who's just plagued with blisters every time I backpack, But occasionally on some trails, for some reason, I tend to get some on my toes. So I like to have them just in case. And especially if I'm going to be hiking in a hot, gritty desert where my feet are just sweaty, then it makes sense to have something just in case it becomes a problem. They're made of 65% what they call rapid dry copper, and then the rest is nylon and elastane. Next up, I've got some new pairs of undies. I've been using ex officio underwear for backpacking, I think, since I started the AT. I think that's pretty much all I've ever used. So anyway, in normal life, I've tried to focus on being less toxic, not just my personality, but also the things in my home. So laundry detergent, soaps, yada yada, a lot of stuff. But my next area of focus is, you know, the fabrics that I wear, wearing more natural or less toxic fabrics. Now, I haven't just gone and thrown away all my clothes, but as I purchase new things, it's something I want to be mindful of. But I figured the first thing for backpacking, I needed to get some new underwear. So I thought, well, maybe I should look into some wool underwear. And I was talking to my friend Joelle, who has been a savior. She came here to help me with my son Bratcher so I could actually get ready for the Arizona Trail. And Joelle is Patrick's daughter, Patrick from MT Knives. So they're a wonderful family. But anyway, we were talking about it and I was like, I need some new underwear for the trail and thinking about some wool underwear. And she's like, hey, I actually have some that I like if you want a recommendation. So I think the way you pronounce the company is Brandwin. But anyway, I got a few pair from there. They are predominantly merino wool, 81%, and then the rest is nylon and spandex. So I will let y'all know how they work out. They're $35 a pair, and for a medium bikini unit of underwear, they weigh 1.4 ounces. Next up is camp shoes. I haven't had a pair of camp shoes since early on in my thru hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. I decided to ditch them because I think they were close to a pound. I had a pair of Teva foam sandals, and honestly, they didn't work great as camp shoes in the cold anyway, because with socks, it was kind of hard to jam my feet in there, and they had a little thing between the toes, so it was like Ninja Turtle feet. So anyway, just to save weight, I decided to ditch them. And although I haven't really considered carrying camp shoes again, I have missed them, because especially at the end of a cold, wet, rainy day, when you get to camp, it's nice to be able to kick off your trail runners and put warm socks on, but then you have to get out and go to the bathroom, and you have the choice of pulling off your warm socks and putting your dry feet in soggy, wet shoes, or walking around camp barefoot. So I recently got some Z-Packs ultralight camp shoes. They cost me $35, and for the size to fit my foot, they weigh 2.1 ounces. They are not fashionable, but it's not about being fashionable, it's how functional they are. And I think that they will work great to be able to put my dry socked feet in them and walk around camp and not have to be barefooted. Now, I don't think on the Arizona Trail that having cold, wet shoes is really going to be a big issue, because I don't think I'm going to be getting rained on every day, but it'll still be nice to get to try out camp shoes again. Next, I'm going to be trying out a new clothes bag / pillow. My current stuff sack that I use for my clothes is from Z-Packs. It's a Dyneema stuff sack that's got a fleece liner on the inside, so you can, or outside, however you carry it, but so you can invert it and use it as a pillow, and that's what I do. But I was talking to my friend Joelle about how my face swells up still when I go backpacking, even though I've eliminated down, and we were talking about how it might be, you know, some of the treatments that are on different gear items for waterproofing, or just the fact that there are synthetics. And so we were talking about some different fibers that might work better, and even though I can't eliminate all of that stuff that could be causing the issue, if I eliminate the thing that's right against my face and go with a better fabric, then it could help. So it doesn't hurt to try. So anyway, we looked on Amazon, found a queen size silk pillowcase, and so she's gonna cut it and stitch it up for me and make it the same size as my current clothing stuff sack / pillow. The whole pillowcase weighs 2.75 ounces, so I assume that the finished weight will end up being around half of that, but I'll put the finished weight on my lighter packs list, and it will be in my full Arizona trail gear list on lighter packs whenever I finish it. The pillowcase cost me $33, and I think it'll actually make 2 different bags, so not too shabby for 2 stuff sacks. But Joelle is pretty handy with sewing, cooking, etc. She's also been helping me with a lot of my homemade backpacking meals. I've got the freeze dryer now, so we've had that thing running pretty much ever since she got here. She actually has a YouTube channel that she talks about all sorts of stuff homemaking, so if you want to check that out, it's Joelle Grace, but I'll also link to her channel in the video description of this video. Another new gear item I have is a new camera clip. It's a Ulanzi Falcam F38 camera backpack strap clip. This clip is way easier to connect to my pack than the Peak Designs clip. That one was just hard if you had kind of a thicker backpacking strap. It had like 2 screws, and so you had to like mash it down and screw it in, and then most of the time while I was backpacking it would loosen up, and then it would kind of make it hard for the camera to slide out. So anyway, this one is just a cinch to connect. It's fine with thicker straps, and so honestly I wish I had found it sooner. It costs $60 and weighs 3 ounces, and that also includes the little plate that connects to the camera to clip it in. I also purchased some new trail runners, and it's kind of laughable to say this is a new gear item that I'm testing out, but they're the Ultra Lone Peak 9s. I just have had so many versions of the Ultra Lone Peaks that at this point I don't feel like they're new gear. You know, it changes a little bit, of course, but I will be using the newest edition to start off my thru hike with. Next is a piece of gear that most people probably won't have to worry about, but it's a Baby Buddha breast pump. I have the first version of it. There's actually a newer model that has come out, but somebody gifted this to me, somebody in the backpacking community, and it's a great little travel pump. I was kind of racking my brain about, you know, what am I going to use, because I can't carry my big old honking Spectra, and the battery wouldn't last long on that anyway. And so, you know, it's like I need something lightweight, but that also has a good suction, and this is a whole new area for me. A full charge on the Baby Buddha lasts me about 60 to 75 minutes, and I've got to pump for about 20 minutes every 2 to 3 hours, so I'm definitely going to need some backup battery power for it. I don't know exactly how much yet, but I'll try to figure that out pretty soon. It's not the most lightweight thing ever, but for breast pumps and for the level of suction and everything that it has, it only weighs 7 ounces, just the unit itself. I'm going to connect a shoulder strap to my pack so I can kind of tuck it in there. That way it's not just dangling down on the lanyard that it comes with. But anyway, I'll figure out as I go how to make it more comfortable, I'm sure. But if you see the milk cow running down the trail with flanges hanging out of my shirt, mind your business. And last but not least, I got me some new sports bras. I've been using the same old crusty ones that I got from Academy years ago because I just really loved them, and unfortunately they stopped selling them, so I've just like literally worn them till they're about rags. But now they don't fit anymore, if you know what I mean. So I also needed to find something that was compatible with pumping, so I didn't have to carry like a separate hands-free pumping bra. At first, that's what I thought I was going to have to do. But thankfully, there are enough active moms out there who like to pump while wearing sports bras. So I got a sports bra that has a little clip that unhooks, and then you can access the udder and hook up the pump and be hands-free. The company's name is Sweat and Milk, which that just tickled me. But anyway, I'm really grateful that they exist. The pumping sports bra I got is the Chloe 4 running bra. So I figured, you know, it's got enough support with running in mind, so I should be good for hiking. I like the feel of it. It fits well. I think it's hopefully going to work out well and not rub or anything like that. All right, y'all. Well, that is all I have for you today as far as gear that I'll be testing out on the Arizona Trail. I'm still open to suggestions, although I don't have much more time for collecting gear, but you know, I could get things along the way. So if you have a piece of gear that you're like, Dixie, you absolutely have to try this, it would be good for the Arizona Trail, then please feel free to leave that in the comments below. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see y'all next time.